Follow and share the Community Radio Network via social media, Facebook at CRN, Community Radio Network. Also check us out on X, Instagram, and TikTok at CRN Sports. As always, remember to listen to the games live on your radio dial at 87.9 FM and anywhere worldwide, always at wearecrn.com. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network.
And we are back. We had an audio issue, and we are back up and going again. Our apologies on that. As we welcome you back to coverage, we've got a yellow flag out over the racetrack as well. Caution will fly. Enoch McNeil with problems on lap number 9 of this race. And the yellow flag will come out. Enoch McNeil was in the 7th position. And that's the driver, of course, of the number 05. Here's a look at a replay. Ryan, I think they can all hear us now of why we're under caution for the first time tonight here at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, they can finally hear our voices. Just a little bit of contact out of 3 and 4 there. Nothing too bad, but just some light contact.
So the yellow flag out over the Speedway. Jacob York putting us under caution here. Before I go any further, let's bring in Ross Boo Boo Dalton. Ross, why are you not racing tonight? Are you race directing?
Yes, sir.
Wow. What was the decision not to drive the car?
Just the way things went last weekend and the ruckus we dealt with after the race, I just felt like it'd be better to have a extra set of eyes in the sky.
Speaking of what happened last weekend, can you let our audience know what got handed down after post-race last week? Because it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, the guys just, they used their fast repairs to their advantage, and it didn't turn out too pretty. So I took their fast repairs away from them and give them an incident count of 22. Each time you get in a wreck, it gives you 4X. And now they've got an incident point. If they get 22X, it DQs them. So it's up to them and up to them to make sure that their race cars stay clean and not cause a scene. So it's
now, are you stepping away from the race car racing side of things now, or is it just for tonight only?
We're gonna see how it goes tonight and be able to. I mean, they're smart enough. All of them, for the most part, race in real life. They should be smart enough to know that what they're doing is right or wrong. So I'm gonna put it in their hand and let them know, and let them make the decisions.
Now we know. That's Ross Boo Boo Dalton giving us a rundown of what's going on. Everybody, we had an update on Iracing or some some of the graphics or whatever. I feel bad for you, Tracy, because like I said, it's bad enough handling radio production for me at CRN. Video streaming and everything else is a completely different animal. So you think one thing's one way, some update happens and something else goes wrong. But we are back up and going now. And obviously, I'm surprised, Ryan, that Ross Boo Boo Dalton not racing tonight. He cares that much about the series with his name on it to make sure it's controlled after the Hampton Havoc shenanigans of last Sunday night as we come for a restart.
Yeah, as we get a restart here, I mean, his name is on this league, so, you know, it matters a lot to him. So, you know, to have 14 cautions last week is a lot of chaos. So hopefully we don't see that tonight, and it's a lot cleaner.
Frustrated indeed as we come back for a restart. Back underway here in the Ross Dalton Racing Series. This is the RDR Driver Development Late Model Stock Car E-Tour. The back under the restart. Look at now the Silver Bullet pulling away. That's Jacob York the second. Behind it, Peanut Baker, Jordan Blair, Andon Mendenhall, and even Enoch McNeil. They're all racing side by side. Now they got a little loose there as they work off turn number 4.
Yeah, Enoch McNeil in the background there is side by side. As we've got, you know, a few side by side battles in the background, but for the most part, the top, you know, 5 are single file.
McNeil up on the high side. Here comes Austin Burnell back down to the bottom, right behind the back of McNeil's car. Here goes Andy McNeil. Mendenhall right there, side by side. They lean on one another. Contacts made. Mendenhall up the racetrack. Burnell down to the outside, opens the door. This is McNeil. Enoch McNeil, who brought up the first caution, has rallied back into the top 5.
Yeah, he was involved earlier on in that incident, and he's definitely, being a little aggressive in defending here, but it's all clean so far. But he's definitely, trying to work his way up towards the front.
125 laps. There is a set of tires. We get another caution. Caution is out. Trouble on the racetrack. It's a multi-car pileup. It's Jordan Brinkley and Ethan Johnson getting together. And the caution will come out on lap number 20. Here is a replay of why we're under caution. Watch these two cars. Ethan Johnson, contact into Brinkley. And that's what happened. Here's another look at it again. You're on board now with Ethan Johnson. Watch the 27. Into the 11th. Left rear, right there. Oh, I'm going to say it was the left rear. He got into the back bumper, the left rear of the 11th car, and around with the Carolina Brokerage number 11 machine of Brinkley. Brinkley and Johnson spin around under caution here.
Yeah, that just looked like too hard of a hit on that back bumper and sent both of them spinning in between 1 and 2.
Well, let's start the formal introduction over again. Welcome back to the virtual Myrtle Beach Speedway on the Iracing platforms, the #1 motorsport simulation of the world. We're live on Elevated TV and on the Community Radio Network. I am Wesley Outland, Ryan Tomford alongside Tracy Brown on production. There was the starting lineup for the race, and obviously that's all out of whack now because there's different positions out there on the racetrack, but obviously Tracy Brown on production. There was an update done and buttons got changed or settings or whatever, but we quickly figured it out. When it's live, it's live. I've always jokingly said that. And I will tell y'all as well that this will be the last iRacing broadcast on the Elevated TV platforms, at least for further notice, until further notice. Obviously, Leadfoot TV network will be created immediately, and the Ross Dalton Racing round 6 of the Leadfoot Racing of the Ross Dalton Racing Late Model Tour will be back in action. That will be, of course, next Sunday night, and that is at New Smyrna Speedway. New Smyrna. We're going to New Smyrna. And I think we're going to try to put up the Coming Next logo. I think we got it. Coming next. Coming soon. Around the horn. I can't see it, but you can see it. I can't see it, but y'all can see it. Sunday, August 24th. And that will be, of course, the next race. And remember, it will be on the Elevated TV no longer. Leadfoot TV. It's on the Leadfoot TV platforms. And that is the Ross Dalton Racing League New Smyrna Speedway. I know it says on Elevated TV, but it will be Leadfoot TV. And then coming up in 2 weeks, Season 4, that will be on Leadfoot TV as well. Season 4 of the Leadfoot Racing League that you just saw here at Myrtle Beach. Aiden Neese won the championship. All right, York, ready to bring them back to green. Still a lot of this going here. Jacob York, the second. Peanut Baker on the outside. Side by side, here they come back to the restart zone, and we're back underway. Boy, oh man, you gotta love the sheet metal rubbing by these two guys. That's Peanut Baker up on the high side, York on the bottom, and here comes now Jordan Blair peeking on the inside, battling now with Andon Mendenhall. They're trying to get up to the front pack as they work in 2.
Yeah, they had a little bit of, the two leaders had a little bit of contact on that first lap, so a lot of double wide, 2 wide racing here to start out of this caution.
Working back into the corner into turn number 3. Here they come working off turn 4. Side by side. That's the battle with Blair and Mendenhall. There's a little more battling going on side by side behind the top 2 single file. That's York and Peanut Baker. Everybody holds their line right now. Keep an eye on Purnell. He'll go to the inside. Mason Walters right behind him. Winner last night at Orange County Speedway in the SAPS Pro Late Model Series. And then he had engine problems in the prelude to the Orange Blossom Special Late Model Stock Car Race. That'll be coming up in October at Rougemont, Orange County Speedway. That's another track that I wish was on Iracing. What an awesome place. York down in the lead still. The Peanut Baker right there behind him, and we're still single file. Things calming down here a little bit. We got a caution. Yellow is out. We got a multi-car crash. Ethan Johnson caught up in another accident with Speedy Bird. And the yellow flag will fly on lap number 33, 34 of the race now. So, caution out. The 16 is turned around. That's Speedy Bird. Ethan Johnson, I believe they're saying, might have got a piece of it as well. And we're back under caution here. Third caution of the race of 125 laps, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few cautions so far. They haven't been, the most massive of wrecks so far, like what we saw last week, but, small little contacts. And as we heard from Ross Dahlin earlier, they've got the 22 incident points, I believe, tonight. So all these drivers have to be, careful and not pile on those incident points so that they get a disqualification tonight.
Taking a quick break. We're back with more Ross Dalton Racing late models at Myrtle Beach. The Palmetto State 125 continues after the Eastern Technical Design Incorporated provides design and drafting services for commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Services include architectural renderings, preliminary plan design, as well as final construction drawings. These drawings include all the necessary structural building, plumbing, and mechanical electrical plans as required to produce and deliver a finished building and/or structure. This company is proudly owned by LFRL's Tracy Brown. Eastern Technical Design. Contact them today at 252-245-1599 or email them at easterntechnicaldesign@gmail.com. Commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Eastern Technical Design is the perfect plan for your building needs. Blue Line Soft Wash is a veteran-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing integrity and precision to exterior cleaning. Founded by a retired law enforcement officer, and we proudly back the men in blue. Blue Line Soft Wash upholds the values of service, commitment, and attention to detail in every job. Trust Blue Line Soft Wash to protect and enhance your property with the same dedication they once gave to protecting our community. Protect and serve. Protect your car with Blue Line Soft Wash today. Here at Myrtle Beach, you didn't miss anything as they went back for the restart as we're side by side. Big thank you, by the way, to Blue Line Soft Wash. They are the caution sponsor for our coverage is right now in the wall goes Purnell. Mendenhall right there along on the inside driver door. And while that goes on, here comes Mason Walters powering for this spot. 3 wide. He's going to go for it down into turn 1, Ryan.
Bold move there as they went 3 wide, but they were able to keep it clean for the most part and unscathed through 1 and 2.
Somehow, no issues. They stay on it. Got a little wild there for a minute, but it did calm down as we work our way back around. Hey, by the way, don't forget sponsorship opportunities for Ross Dalton Racing. If you're interested, reach out to Ross Dalton Racing and Development on social media. Call Ross Dalton and find him on social media. He has packages as low as $1,000 to put on a race car in real life. And he's the man that's behind the RDR late model E-Tour. And right now, it is York leading the way. He won a couple of weeks ago, and he leads the way. Peanut Baker in second. Jordan Blair third. Austin Purnell and Mendenhall currently your top 5 as we're quickly approaching 75 to go and lap number 50 of the race. Ryan Tom Purnell 4.
Yeah, York out front, he's starting to, create a gap out front. But here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, the right, I believe the right front, will take a heavy beating here if you're too aggressive on it. So, you've got to, take care of your tires this entire race. So, you don't want to get too far out ahead and burn through your stuff and then a caution comes out. So, we'll see some guys, jump out to the front and some of them saving tonight.
Such a special place here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. I found it just so ironic that this actually was the race tonight for tonight's race for Ross Dalton Racing, but also for the finale for the obviously Leadfoot Racing League won by champion Ada Nice. Right now, the E-Late Model Stock Car Tour Palmetto State 125 continues on, and we are still seeing Jacob York in the top spot. 75 laps to go. By the way, remember, they are giving one set of tires plus the set they started on. But one thing that got taken away, Ryan, and you heard Mr. Ross Dalton mention it earlier when we were worried why he wasn't on the racetrack, is the use of a fast repair. That got stripped away. There's a lot more things being enforced tonight as we got another caution. Yellow flag is out on lap number 50. So the field will back it down for a moment and we will find out why we are under the caution flag. There it is. Tracy, I think you're behind. I think you're on delay, dude. I don't think you're caught up with the broadcast. I think we're behind schedule as there's a look at what happened as Brinkley and Purnell got together. And we need to go back live, I think is what it is. So here's a replay of what happened on lap number 51. And there you see those drivers again, Brinkley and Austin Purnell. Boy, what a save by Peanut Baker, Ryan, to also miss that, and even Mason Walters, too.
Yeah, a few of those drivers missing that wreck. Just seems like the 11 of Jordan Brinkley there. Just too much of a hard contact out of the corner, and when you're getting, sort of into the gas and, spun them both around into the wall on the front straightaway.
Oh, another caution out here. I don't know if it's SDK or if it's iRacing in general. I think he might be behind with the race itself. When we keep going to replays. Anyhow, under the yellow flag here, another caution. As Right now, Jacob York continuing to hold on to that top spot, obviously. We see Jordan Blair in second and in Mendenhall. Some of these drivers obviously having pitted from ninth on back. They came to the pit lane. Those involved in accidents are deciding to come to pit road early. Nonetheless, though, nobody else is pitted right here. Here's a different strategy, too, by the way. Ryan, you got to think about it. This is a 125-lap race. 75 laps different than the 200-lapper we saw earlier tonight for the Leadfoot Racing League Championship, won by Aiden Neese. This is 125 laps, and we're already back to green. Back underway on lap number 55 when they come to the line. Three wide, contact, sideways, Mendenhall connected with Walters, and they go around in 1 and 2. Caution is out.
Yeah, they were awfully brave going three wide there.
Wow. Nowhere to go for Endon Mendenhall, and Mason Walters gave him a little push. He didn't mean to. He was trying to protect himself to keep getting into the fence.
Yeah, I mean, they went three wide there. I mean, we've seen it work once or twice already tonight, but, that time, all three drivers were a little bit more higher up on the track going into one, and, they just ran out of room there and spun Mendenhall around.
Another caution out again. Another yellow flag. We'll take a look, and again, you saw the replay of what happened, and you know what? I don't fault Mason Walters at all. Honestly, Ryan, he had a run. He wasn't going to back away. There was contact made. But at the end of the day, he was being fair. He was not trying to in any way take out Mendenhall. It just kind of happened that way. Watch the replay again. Look at this. You send it three wide, and that's the end result you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, if you send it three wide, even the slightest, correction that if one of the drivers, has to move their car a little bit higher up a groove, that causes chaos. So, we've seen it work a few times where, on restarts where they've gone three wide, but, they've all been able to keep it through 1 and 2. This time I think it's just a little bit of correction and pushed them all up the track and sent Mendenhall spinning around.
So it is another yellow flag. What is that now? The fourth one, I think, of the race so far? Five cautions so far in this race. So the fifth caution comes to an end. 60 laps completed. A couple of laps away to the halfway mark here in the Palmetto State 125. Here comes the field, ready to come back to green. We are back underway in the restart zone. Boy, they took it all the way to the box. Next to shy of the flag stand from 50 yards before they hit the gas. And Jacob York gets a great launch on Blair. Enoch McNeil on the high side. Here comes now Peanut Baker back on the bottom. And Mason Walters is there off 4.
Yeah, that was a very late restart, but it allowed Jacob York to get a good start. And he's now leading the race as we see Enoch McNeil here, side by side, battling hard for third place.
Sheet metal rubbing, banging fenders, 3 wide. Will Walters go for it again? He will not. He locks to the back end of Baker's car. Enoch McNeil up high to the inside as they work inside. 3, and there's contact, and around goes Peanut Baker. Gets clipped by Mullins, and we spin coming to the cross flags for the 6th caution of the night here at halfway in the Palmetto State 125. Well, what do you think, Ryan? Anybody at fault here? Just a racing deal.
I believe that's just another one of those, racing incidents as we see a few cars dive into pit lane here.
Another look at it. There you see what happened. Halfway in this race. Ryan, what's your take of the first 64 laps of this one here at Myrtle Beach tonight, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some pretty good side-by-side battles, throughout the field. We've gone 3 wide and made it successful, but, we've seen 6 cautions and a fair bit of wrecks. So hopefully in the second half of this race, they can, clean up those mistakes and not have so many cautions in the second half, and we can hopefully get a longer green flag run.
By the way, sponsorship opportunities are available with the Ross Dalton Racing and Development Program. If you'd like to know more, follow them on Facebook. For as low as $1,000, you could be on a very popular race car. Contact them today. Again, that's Ross Dalton Racing, 336-907-9476. And as always, let's get racing with RDR. Thank you to other sponsors that make it happen on Elevated TV and soon to be Leadfoot Television, including, obviously, Blue Line Soft Wash. The caution flag has been used a lot tonight from Barney. Thank you also to Tar Heel Environmental. Thank you to Eastern Technical Design, Dubby Energy. Just some of the sponsors that we have on a weekly basis on Elevated TV. So I'm noticing that the logo that says RDR, it needs to be probably white letters instead of black because it's so hard to see it. I see it on the top right, so maybe we need to get with Ross about changing his graphics there. So, all right, try this again. Oh, you can do that? Oh, he can do it. Tracy can do it. RDR at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Don't forget, we're down to the final 5 races after tonight for the season. That includes New Smyrna next week, Southern National in 2 weeks. That's Labor Day weekend. And I will tell everybody my apologies for you. I will not be there. I have real announcing obligations unless Mother Nature interferes. USA International, South Boston, and Martinsville. Those are your next 5 races that remain after tonight in the midway point of the Ross Dalton Racing at Myrtle Beach. And we talked about this actually on LFRL. I'd love to see it, Tracy and Ryan. We got one to go on the pace car coming back for a restart at lap 70 of 125 with what 55 laps to go. I'll say this. I would love to see if we could get like the top 15 or the top 12 of the LFRL, the top 12 of the RDR, and have like an all-star 5-race series, 4-race series, bragging rights, if you will. Who's the best driver, Leadfoot Racing or Ross Dalton Racing? I hope we can try to put something like that together very soon as we get ready to come back to a restart here at Myrtle Beach. Oh, I'm going to be beach pooped by the end of the night. Contact. Mullins holds on. Mendenhall down to the inside. He'll let him correct. And they're side by side, Ryan, all 4.
Yeah, Cliff Mullins is a new contender up front, and he's battling hard there for second position with Endon Mendenhall. there in the 15 car.
By the way, you saw a little bit of damage on the 37 car. That happened when that accident spun with Peanut Baker. But he rallies and he stays in it. Might even have some toe in on the right front of the 37. He's stuck on the high side. It's like a draft at a super speedway. He's got to get to the bottom, and he's got to fight for it alongside Brinkley off 4.
Yeah, he's losing a few positions here, being stuck on that outside, so he's definitely got to find, a way to slide his way into that bottom groove and get in line with all of these drivers.
All of this going on as they work their way back into the corner, into turn number 1 and 2. Now we're 50 laps to go when they come back to the line. And now it's time to hit it. Home stretch. Here comes now Austin Purnell, Cliff Mullins. They battle. Mullins was in second on the restart, and in 5 laps, he's free falling like lyrics of the Tom Petty song back to 5th. 6th, 7th, maybe more, as now he's tied up with Walters and McNeil in turn 3.
Yeah, Cliff Mullins, one good thing to stop this progress of going backwards is he's gone in line now and he's not on that high side anymore, so he'll be able to hopefully get it to a groove here and look forward and start battling those drivers ahead.
And while all this goes on, it is still Jacob York holding on to the point. By the way, he's won earlier in the season. If he wins tonight, he'll be the first repeat winner of the year. And right now, he's in front. And actually, boy, we are continuing to watch all this. Boy, anybody's got anything going on, you got to better be ready to lay it all on the cards. By the way, Andy Mendenhall came into the race with a 1-point lead over Ross Dalton coming in. Actually, my apologies. That was all the way back on July 27th. They haven't updated it. I'm sorry. I don't want to give out the false information. As now we see Purnell and Brinkley side by side again. They're battling. That's for third. Heading to lap 80 here, Ryan.
Yeah, they're battling hard here for third. I've seen that 11 car of Jordan Brinkley hit the wall a few times out of 2 when they've been side by side. So, he's definitely pushing hard here and trying to get this third spot.
A wild one last week at the Hampton Havoc, and there were warnings, penalties, fines, suspensions laid down, things taken away. Ross giveth and Ross taketh away, jokingly, as he took away the opportunity for the fast repair. Things are going to be more stricter now. Incident points. You get too many passing points or incident points, you get a meatball flag. And right now, this race, though we've had cautions, this is typical Myrtle Beach, Ryan. This is a flat racing surface. You've got to muscle your way for spots sometimes, as we see Brinkley and Purnell going at it again side by side as they work off 4.
Yeah, as we see Purnell and Brinkley battling here for third, it seems like they've started a little bit of a train behind them and have clogged up. All of these drivers behind are they're letting the top 2 drive away in the distance a little bit.
Working on the backstretch now. Look at now, Mason Walters. He'll move to the inside of Purnell. And while that goes on, Jordan Blair is right there with him. A couple of cars off the pace, rallying, racing on. That's Mullins. Enoch McNeil on the back of the 37's rear end spoiler as they work back into 3 and 4. You're on board now, but Enoch McNeil. We need to pause quickly for 10 seconds of station identification. If you're listening on CRN, the Community Radio Network, this is Iracing from Myrtle Beach with the Ross Dalton Racing Late Model E-Tour.
This is the Community Radio Network, WCRN, 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Smithfield, North Carolina. Proud to be in the USA. We are CRN.
Heading towards lap 90, round 5. Ross Dalton Racing Driver Developed Late Model E-Tour. Welcome back to coverage of iRacing on Elevated TV and the Community Radio Network. Along with Ryan Tomford, I'm Wesley Outland. Tracy Brown punching the buttons. By the way, don't forget, this is the last ever broadcast on Elevated TV platforms until further notice, because beginning next Sunday night, we will be switching over to Elevated TV. Leadfoot TV, that's right. Elevated TV will become Leadfoot TV. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. It's been a long friggin' weekend. And Elevated TV will become Leadfoot TV. Yes, Tracy. I still think LFRL TV sounds better. Like it's like a, LFRL TV. LFRL TV. No, Leadfoot. I like Leadfoot. It's like Bigfoot, even better. The Sasquatch of motorsport simulation. Oh. Who got outvoted? Did you want LFRL TV as well? I got you. Battling side by side. Here they come inside. That's going to be Mason Walters. By the way, Mason Walters won last night in the South Atlantic Pro Late Model Series, the SAPS Series. Pro Late Model race last night in Orange County. And then he blew his engine in the prelude to the Orange Blossom Special. And now, right now, he clears by Blair and Brinkley. Down the back straightaway as they roll into turn 3, Ryan. We're heading towards 30 to go here at the Grand Strand of Virtual Myrtle Beach, my friend.
We're just watching this battle for third. It's a very intriguing battle. As they're trading paint and positions here. But something I want to point out with 30 laps to go, Jacob York, who is your leader, has not come down pit road once tonight. So I'm wondering, how much his tires are going to hold up in this last little bit of this race.
Will it? Could it? Should it? Would it? It's a big question. Look at Jacob York with a big 2-second lead now. Jacob York the second. There he is in the silver bullet. Right there. Andon Mendenhall. Here he comes off 4. Boy, that's from the tower view. That's awesome. We got a caution, though. This changes everything. Yellow flag. 26 laps to go. And the Banana Republic flag will wave again. The longest green flag run of the race just ended as we got a couple of cars getting together. Austin Taylor and Ethan Johnson. Oh, boy. It's a racing deal. Caution out. Now, do you pit? Do you pit, or if you haven't, the answer is yes. Here comes Andon Mendenhall. Here comes Brinkley, Mullins, Purnell, McNeil. It's the money stop, Ryan. They were playing possum with 25 to go.
Yeah, I mean, we see a few of them pit. But key one is Jacob York has stayed out there in the lead. So he's believing that, I believe, track position is more important than, getting tires here. So interesting strategy choice by him.
Remember, there is this set that they qualified on, plus the option for another set of tires. Remember, caution laps do count. They have taken away the free fast repair. There is incident points. If you get too many incident points, you get a meatball flag. That's kind of like a black flag to come in and serve a penalty. Whether it be time, too many flags, then you get disqualified for too many incident points. And remember, guys, if you don't have a fast repair, you got to do like NASCAR does and go on the damaged vehicle policy clock. You got to take time to get your car fixed, and you got to hope you don't go a lap down at a short track doing it. Well, I got to. What's up, Tracy? Well, it's under 25 to go. It's time to dig when the green flag flies. Flies. When the green flag flies, brother, next time by. Golden Racing, time to dig. We kind of missed it when the caution came out, right? Oh, it's time to dig. It's time to dig, and you better worry. And if I'm Jacob York the second, I would worry about that virtual thundering herd behind them, because they have got new sides of rubber, and they are going to be coming hard for the silver bullet. The 25, back to green, ready to settle it. It's time to dig at Myrtle Beach as we go into turn one.
Jacob York, with even those old tires, is able to get that amazing start there on that restart.
York protects the inside as they're going up high, way up high. Mendenhall powers back with Clifton. Cliff Mullins, eating McNeil. They almost run each other up the racetrack, and they hold on to their spots now as they work in three. All but a battle. Trouble! Oh, we got a car almost airborne! Trouble in turn one! Big crash! The big one just happened at lap 106. Here it is. Slung like a rag doll, went through the spin cycle, was airborne. Austin Taylor, Enoch McNeil, Andon Mendenhall, and Bryson Brinkley and others. Can we go on board with, oh my goodness, the 51, Austin Taylor. This is going to be interesting. Watch this. Hang on, Ryan. Wow. It happened that fast. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and slammed and hit the wall. Did a 360 in the air. I don't know if you caught that or not, audience. He did a 360 while airborne. And damage on that race car. Wow.
Yeah, crazy wreck there. Got, 4, 5, 6 cars there. So a lot of cars wrecked in that incident.
By the way, want to say thank you to obviously all of the partners that we mentioned. We want to say thank you also to the Ross Dalton Racing Driver Development. We are looking forward to continuing to stay on board with Ross Boo Boo Dalton, somebody that I have known for almost a decade or more, called his real life races, victories, championships at multiple tracks. His emotional win at the New Year's Bash on MAV TV. I was one of the anchors. By the way, I want to send a shout out to my friend Alan Dietz, who was the other anchor for MAV TV for that race. And he celebrates a birthday today. I know there's about 48 minutes left to go in the day, but happy birthday to my buddy Alan Dietz. But, yeah, I mean, Ross Dalton raced. He still races when he can, but he realized that the bigger picture was to build that RDR, driver development program, and it has flourished now in its third season. Pace car is in. We're ready to settle it here at Myrtle Beach. 14 laps to go. Back to the restart zone. Can anybody stop Jacob York the second? He's been the front runner all night as we're in turn 2 there, Ryan.
Yeah, Jacob York has definitely been the most dominant car tonight, but, you know, he's on very old tires, so let's see if any of these, you know, fresher tires cars can get to him and pass him for the lead.
Well, we just saw Mullen scrape off the wall, if you will. Continuing on with all of this happening. Back straight away. Jacob York holding on to the point. We're closing in. 10 laps to go. Next time by, it's 11 to go at the line now. And York, even though there are tires that came down pit lane at lap number 101, 108, 107, and we got another caution, and that might be the Achilles heel that will hurt him. 37, Cliff Mullins goes around. Caution out with 10 to go here at Myrtle Beach. Here's a replay. We'll watch it again here.
Looked like Enoch O'Neill just tapped him out of that corner and just sent him around out of 4.
Another yellow flag coming out. Here comes cars. They're going to be coming down pit road. Austin Taylor back in. Trying to stay in the race, but already laps down. 7, 8 laps down right now in 13th. By the way, I want to say thank you also to RC Slick. He is helping Ross Boo Boo Dalton with race directing this event. I know it's had its cautions tonight, Ryan, but this is just what Myrtle Beach provides. This type of racetrack, sometimes you see these things happen.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've had cautions tonight, but they haven't been, you know, the most wild wrecks. They've been some, you know, small spins. I mean, we did see Austin Taylor get airborne and spin and do a 360, but, you know, not crazy aggressive driving tonight. And, you know, I know we've had a lot of cautions, but we did have that long green flag run as we're about to take the green here.
About ready to come back for the restart. By the way, there is a chance for overtime if need be. 7 laps to go here at Myrtle Beach. Boy, oh boy. Mason Walters had to back away for just a moment as York shuts the door on him on the high side out of 3. Contact! York pulled up in front of Walters. Walters says, I'm coming down to the inside. He might have the preferred run line now. And he does! Mason Walters pulls up in front to the lead in 2. York slipped, and Ryan, he opened the bottom. Almost spinning Jordan Blair, almost in the mid hole. 3 wide behind him, under 5 to go. Mason Walters in the lead. Here comes Brinkley down to the bottom now, looking for second on York.
Yeah, well, as we have a caution in the background, trouble, multiple cars.
Yes, sir. Caution out. Jordan Blair, Speedy Bird, maybe even Ethan Johnson. And caution is out. Right there. Wow. Well, you set up overtime here. Can I say this much, Ryan, Tracy? Jacob slipped. He opened the door to the inside for Mason Walters, and when he did, Mason Walters took that initiative, and the bottom's the way to go. That little mistake might just give the win to the 500 on track, the 16, Mason Walters.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like this is going to be sort of a crazy restart for York because I would love to see, if we have it, a replay of when he got past because it seemed like Mason Walters, pushed him up the track a little bit. So I wonder if he's going to repay him the favor and push him up the track and to try to get the win here.
Could that happen? Find out. Replay very quickly. Watch this again. Yeah, we don't want to miss the restart. This is a chance at overtime. 2 laps to go. Green white checker back underway here at Myrtle Beach. By the way, this is the second race in a row to finish in overtime for the Ross Dalton Racing Driver Development Series. And on the restart, Mason Walters in front. Jacob York will follow to the inside. The bump and run. He pushes him out of the way, and they crash. White flag in the air. 1 to go. Final lap. Bump and run. York to Walters. Now Jordan Brinkley on the inside. A renewed vigor. Here comes the 11. Here comes Peanut with a push. The 11 in front. Is he there? No. Jacob York wins. Outside lane. Second win of the year for the 25. The bump and run. The exciting bump and run. Unbelievable. And make no mistake about it, that's going to be our Tar River Environmental yes sir moment of the race. No doubt. Watch this. Ryan, what you got, man? Ryan, well, you got to come back to the restart, actually, because it was a green flag when all this happened. Look at this. Down the back straightaway, Jacob York. Fair or foul, Ryan? What do you think? Fair or foul? Bump and run coming to the white flag.
I mean, it's a quite aggressive move. Definitely a hard hit there, but I would say that's clean, if we go back to that restart before, the pass before, it was definitely a sort of the similar type of contact. So in my opinion, that would probably be a fair move. Watch
the restart. Watch it again. Inside. Now Mason Walters gave him a bump going into one, shot Jacob York up the racetrack, and I think that might have frustrated him a little bit. He said, okay, you're going to do that to me. I'm going to wait for you in the corner. The bump and run. You never know when it's coming, but normally it's in the corner. And then he slammed to another car. He got airborne. That was Speedy Bird. He got the short end of the stick, if you will. And then here comes Brinkley on the inside, racing all he can on the bottom. And Jacob York proved the outside lane. You can hold it. And he did. Jacob York wins here at Myrtle Beach in the Palmetto State 125 in overtime. He becomes the first two-time winner of the year. And yes, that is your Tar River Environmental, yes sir, moment of the race. I know we got ahead of ourselves, but you had to have known that that's exactly what it was going to be, Ryan, like hands down.
Yeah, that's definitely the moment of the race there. Definitely an exciting way to finish off tonight's race.
Yeah, go ahead, Tracy, go ahead. Wait a minute. You think that was good racing? You don't think that was foul? That was fair or foul? Fair or foul? No, I don't. Don't you ever do that to me again. First off, Mr. Smarty Pants, that's not a real email for me. It's something else. Secondly, I mean, it's WesleyOutlet@AIM.com if anybody wants to ever email me, because I'm that old. I go that old. AOL Instant Messenger. So. No, it is no longer Outland Wellesley. I've got my damn name back right. First, last name first name last. So yeah. Somebody said can't hear him. So they couldn't hear you again. They can't hear Tracy. They can't hear you in the broadcast, man. Oh well. That's why you need to go to the radio on wearecrn.com and you can hear all these shenanigans during the post. So yeah. Anyhow, Tar River Environmental, yes sir, moment of the race. I want to go back real quickly before we do post race. Can we go to Speedy Bird? He got the short end of the stick in that wreck whenever the bump and run happened between Walters and York. Watch the 16 of Speedy York. He's the one that got up in the air. I think he might have flipped coming to the white flag actually. Watch this, the 16 car. Speedy Bird. Watch this, Ryan. Look at this. Here they come, green flag. They're coming to the restart. Get your eye on the 16 car. Yeah, look at this guy, man. He got the gold mine and I got the shaft, like Jerry Reed said in the song, right? Look at this. Oh, it already happened. Watch this. Look, nowhere to go. I'm happy. I'm excited. Look at this. Oh, baby. And Ryan, he got caught up in a wreck. They were wrecking behind him. He missed it, and then he got clipped in this one in the Sound Gear 16. Wow.
Yeah, I mean they're wrecked behind him, and then he got caught up in the second wreck. But
oh baby, let's there is conversation going on here, everybody. I think They are talking about the finish of the race, but I think it is going to stand as it is right now. Stand by, everybody. We're going to be right back with you. Let's take a look at the results. Let's take a look at the results for tonight's race real quickly, as we do have the trio of drivers for post-race in the booth at the end of the Palmetto State 125. It is Jacob York winning from the pole. He had to fight for it on the outside, but he does win the race over Jordan Brinkley. He will finish in the second spot. Peanut Baker third from starting fourth. Austin Purnell will finish on the top five in fourth in the 32. Enoch McNeil Ryan will finish in the top 10. He's in fifth.
Yeah, in sixth place, Cliff Mullins. He's was involved in a few incidents. Endon Mendenhall finishes in seventh. Ethan Johnson in eighth. Brinkley there in ninth. Walters battling there at the end finds himself in 10th position. Jordan Blair finds himself in 11th. Speedy Bird, who had that wreck at the end, finds himself in 12th. And Austin Taylor, who had a big wreck, finds himself 20 laps down.
By the way, Ross Boo Dalton, RC Slick race directors Billy Green and Bradley Walford did not start the race. Time of race, 1 hour, actually it was 59 minutes and 18 seconds when the checkered flag fell. All right, let's go and grab, we're going to go to commercial real quick, or are we going to go right to interviews? Let's get right to interviews. Let's go and grab Victory Lane and grab the winner. It is Jacob York, the number 25, Jacob York the second. Congratulations are due, sir. You are the first two-time winner of the year. First multi-time winner of the year, might I add. But it wasn't easy. Jacob, congratulations, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, don't really like to race that way, and but you get ran that way so many times, and you see other people get ran that way so many times. You're not gonna let a guy take a win from you like that, and we just did what we had to do to come out on top.
So you go back to this. Was there more going on between you and Walters than maybe what we were seeing? Maybe looking at other stuff happening. Was there brake checking? Was there blocking? What made it be where you had to use the famed bump and run?
Well, the last restart, he jacked me up getting into three, and I caught it, and he jacked me up again on exit. And then on the restart there, the last restart, going into one, he wanted to take the left side off of my car, so we're not going to play those games. It's just a spoiled little rich kid with too much money that plays video games just like he does real life.
Ryan.
Well, congratulations, York, for being the first multi-time winner. You kind of answered my question. What did he just break early into three, as we're seeing on screen? Did he just break early, or did you just run into him and try to take that win?
Man, you just gotta do what you gotta do when you get ran dirty. So you take that as you will.
Now, have you been reprimanded by Ross or the race directors? Have they said, "Hey, man, you're the winner"? I mean, was there any backlash after the finish?
It's definitely under review, and I'd say we probably won't be keeping this one, but that's something I'm going to wear proud and happy and know we led the most laps, had the best car, and just some little punt wanted to take it from us.
Right now, we have to say the word unofficial right now for the time being. Obviously.
Hey, Wesley, can I interject here, sir? Please.
I will, yeah, but I was going to say if we'll find out from Ross Boo Dalton what the call is if we can before we go off the air. But go ahead, Tracy.
Okay. Look, Jacob, I just want to let you know from a fellow racer, man, I think what you did was very well acceptable. I think that Mr. Walters kind of roughed you up a little bit to take the lead and then roughed you up a little bit on the restart. And I think once he did that, it kind of opened the door for you to be able to kind of, give him a little nudge going down in there. I mean, you'd been the best car.
It made it fair game. It made it fair
game. It just made it fair game, in my opinion. And
right. My opinion on it is, like, if it's real life, when I drive in there and hit him, and unfortunately this is a simulator, it can't be real all the time, but if I drive in there and hit him like that in real life, it's going to crinkle the quarter and I'm going to move him out of the way.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
intentions to go in there and wreck him by no means. I did want to get to him. I did want to move him
Definitely.
and show him that I wasn't happy about how he's raced me or really anybody else over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And that being said, I'm just going to use this time to thank my guys, man. I got to thank the Holston River Machine Shop, Nance Ag and Lime, and everybody from the Cornbreaders Discord. I don't know if we'll get to keep this one, but I appreciate everybody that supports us.
Jacob, I got to ask you one last question, and I'll let you go. I know you already mentioned your sponsors. Was the inside lane where you needed to be? And when you slipped that little bit, when he kind of rubbed into you, bumped you, when he pushed you up on the outside, did you know you needed to get back on the inside? But then again, you won the race on the outside, battling Brinkley for the victory. So you proved that you might have been saving something there at the end.
Well, the thing is, I was the only car that didn't take tires the whole race, and
Right, right.
we led the whole race, and I knew that I needed the bottom, but then again, on the restart, he didn't even give me a fair shake getting into one. He ran me up out of the racetrack and was clear by the center. If the kid would have ran me straight up to the center and been even off the corner, we'd have raced like heck and maybe had the same finish that me and Blaze had. And it just goes to show you the difference in caliber of drivers. Blaze is very good. He's a veteran driver, really good racing young man, and I enjoy racing with him.
There you go. That's Jacob York II, ladies and gentlemen. The Silver Bullet will finish in the number 1 position unofficially right now. We have to wait till that becomes official from Race Control. But what I can tell you is he will be the first recorded 2-time winner of the season after 4 different winners on the year. Let's grab now Blaze Brinkley, which is actually the driver of the number 11. My buddy out of Sanford, North Carolina, a former champion at Caraway Speedway and late models, runner at Ace Speedway, Orange County, Wake County, you name it. Blaze, nothing wrong with second. Your take of what happened in front of your windshield and just kind of staying out of trouble to finish silver.
Yeah, I don't need to get too involved. I mean,
I got you.
it's kind of like when you watch the car store every week, there's been one car running over most of the field that nobody's happy with. It's kind of the same thing here. It seems like there's one car that really seems to get into everyone at some point or another, and it never ends. So, I blame Jacob? No, not at all. But that's about all I have for it. I knew I was starting in the back tonight and tried to play the long game, save for a little bit. I knew they were probably going to get rough like they usually do. They did, and that played in our favor towards the end.
Wow. Ryan.
Brinkley, you were up 11 positions today. You know, how is it going through, all of this chaos and madness and picking your way through all of the carnage?
Oh, it was pretty fun. I mean, I got to third or fourth one time, and I accidentally got into the back of one guy. I can't remember who that was, but I have to apologize for that one. I was making my way up to the field, trying to pass everyone clean, was doing that, and then he got backed up from the car in front of him, and I just didn't see it in time. So sorry to him.
Well, Blaze, obviously, man, I got to ask you, how much fun has it been running on this tour, Iracing deal? Does it help you with real racing? Do you feel like when you go to Caraway or you go to Ace or Orange County or wherever you go to, man, with your racing, does it help you out being a better driver using the simulation?
It definitely doesn't hurt you. It's not going to make you just the best race car driver in the world, but it definitely, like for someone like me who I don't really race a ton of races in a year anymore, it helps me kind of stay sharp on some things. You see a lot of situations that you might see in real life, restarts, just a bunch of things that do correlate.
Well, buddy, before we let you go, man, please thank your sponsors, and we'll see you next week. We'll see what happens next week at New Smyrna.
Yeah, I got to thank JHTD Wraps, Carolina Family Pool and Patio, Carolina Brokerage, Steel and Pipe Corp, Chatley Boat Marine, all those people, they keep me racing.
Hey, and I got to ask you, man, Bryson, what's his thoughts pushing towards a late model championship at Caraway? I'll be there back on the broadcast on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Me and him have never gotten to race together in real life, so I'm trying to make it happen where I can race this weekend. If I do,
Okay,
then
okay.
it'll be a new car for me. I don't have any laps on it yet, so, but that would be a cool thing for me to be able to go
And
do.
I got to ask you as well, are you going to make a return back to Wake County Speedway any? There's a lot of people that liked you when you raced out there.
I I was there last Friday night and I seen the fan count and I was like, man, I don't know what we have to do, but we have to start talking to some people up here and start racing up here next year because that's what growing up like as a race car driver, like that's what everyone wanted to do, like race in front of a bunch of fans. And
I,
I'm
I,
not
I,
built for Bowman Gray, so
yeah. And let me tell you something. Ryan Tomford is the producer of the broadcast for TV at Wake County Speedway. And I keep telling Tracy and everybody else, you need to come to Wake County on a Friday night. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I'll give you a damn free pass to be a fan to come to watch it if you wanted to. But I say this honestly, Blaze, and I think you can see it yourself. It's not just races at Wake County. It is racing. You guys do race. It is about you guys. Y'all put on a show, but it's the entertainment, all of the things that go into the night's program that make it such a fun family atmosphere for entertainment every Friday night. And
Exactly.
I
That's
hate
what
the season's
people want
ending.
to
They're
go
down to
to.
4 races left.
Exactly. I agree with you. That's exactly what people want to go to on a Friday night, like something that entertains. Like racing is ultimately the biggest entertainment, but they have a lot more. I don't know how to explain it. You would probably do a better job, but they do a very good job over there, I will say. Charlie and all of his guys.
We hope to see you soon, my friend. Thank you for your time, Blaze.
Yep, you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Blaze Brinkley, and he'll finish in the number 2 position. Let's grab down Peanut Baker. Peanut, it's good to finally talk to you, man. This was a pretty wild one here tonight, sir. Your take of surviving on the podium here at Myrtle Beach. You had little hiccups, got a little bumps, little bangs. You still finish in 3rd, though.
That race altogether was just intense. I mean, everybody was bouncing off everybody. Nobody was giving an inch, honestly, which is kind of insane considering we now have no
Does the
fast
track
repairs.
provide that? Does the track provide that, Peanut, or was it everything that Ross said don't do last week at Hampton kind of flew out the window on the racetrack tonight at Myrtle Beach?
I'd say it was mainly the track, because this place you really can't pass anybody on the bottom unless you can give them a
Right,
door. So
right.
you just have to lean on somebody, and there's just people that were taking it a little bit too far and hitting them way too hard than they needed to actually get by them, and it was ruffling some feathers. Just it caused some issues.
Brian.
Yes. So we're watching you just drive around the track, and it seems like you've got a fair bit of damage on your car. Was that affecting your handling at all at the end, near the end of the race?
I think majority of it came from those last 2 restarts, just everybody bouncing off of each other. We went 3 wide, I think, 2 or 3 times, and I had to check up and burp it. But it wasn't too terrible. It just got tight there at the end.
I'll tell you what, obviously, Peanut, man, I'm going to ask you because we've known each other at real racetracks a long time, and obviously, you're fair or foul. Do you feel like what happened on the last lap is what you see with tempers boiling over, or just it's the last lap, you got to do what you got to do to win, or do you feel like there should be some type of a remand from what happened with Jacob York?
I feel like it's a little bit egregious, but at the same time, as he was saying, it is iRacing, so it's not going to be as realistic as it should be. But I think it was a little bit egregious, and it looked like it just completely picked up the car and shifted it sideways. Because from what I've seen from my replay, it looked like Mason gave him a tap on the left rear and moved him up the track, but that was the only part that I seen of it.
Well, man, are you having fun running with this series, obviously, in the 22?
Oh, yeah, it's always a blast running with Boo Boo, Jordan, and them.
Well, man, before we let you go, please thank your sponsors, and we'll see you next week at New Smyrna.
Yeah, I got to thank Steel Graphic Designs, all the RDR guys, and 50 Raceworks for all they do.
Woo! sorry. Whoop. That's Peanut Baker, everybody. I left the booth for a second. My bad. That's Peanut Baker when it's all said and done. Let's try to bring in Ross Boo Boo Dalton. It looks like there is a conversation going on. I don't know if I want to interrupt it. Maybe I can grab him real quickly because I do want to find out something before we go off the air. So let's just try to bring him in real quickly. Ross, I know you got something going on upstairs, but I do got to ask you before we go off the air, is the finish going to stand for Jacob, or is it still kind of unofficially under review?
No, it's not going to stand.
It's not going to stand.
Nope, it's not going to stand, and there's going to be a little mix-up there on that, and there's going to be a couple changes in the finishing order there.
So can we say that Blaze Brinkley is going to win this race, which would, by the way, make it now 5 different winners in 5 races?
Yes.
Okay. That's all we need to know. Obviously, we're just calling a broadcast of racing. It's their decision upstairs. And obviously, thank you, Ross, for your time, buddy. I'll let you get back up there. That's Ross Boo Boo Dalton, everybody. And as I said, I wanted to find out before we got off the air. And there is the decision, Ryan. Fair or foul? Tracy said it was fair racing.
Hey,
I guess the powers that be are saying no, Tracy.
Oh, I understand. I'm here to tell you. Look here, man. I hate to say it. I mean, this is my point, okay?
Yeah.
So Mason Waters, he kind of roughed up Jacob York to get the lead.
Mason Walters.
Right. And then on the restart, he doored him. You know what I mean? To kind of create some space so he could arc into turn 1. Now, when in iRacing only, really, once you make contact, it is so hard to determine where the guy in front of you is going to go. You know, you never really try to knock him out, and I don't believe Jacob York tried to knock him out. I think he meant to send a message, move him up the track, and you know, and it was like a guy I used to race with told me. Okay, in iRacing, they issue points depending on car contact. Okay, so you can get a 0x for essentially just swapping paint, no contact. A 2x, which means, you've made some contact, and then a 4x, which means you caused a wreck. So a buddy of mine always used to tell me that, you know, it's not my fault if you can't hold on to a 0x. Now, I'm getting ready to become Mason Waters' worst enemy here, but that's not what I'm saying. No matter who it is, I just think that the way Mason did Jacob, it wasn't rough, it wasn't excessive, but I think he opened the door for Jacob to be able to put a bumper to him, maybe a little bit harder than usual, but I didn't think that the contact warranted. Well, I really don't think that it should warrant any kind of penalty. It wasn't just a flat-out blow right into you and push you out of the way and just, you know, more or less clean up the marbles on the outside track. That's just my opinion. And again, hopefully it sounds working. You can send all the hate emails to where, Wes?
WesleyOutlet@abe.com.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And then I'm going to forward the SOBs to Tracy.
So that is my opinion. If I were running the Leadfoot Racing League and I saw that, I wouldn't give Jacob any kind of issue. But again, this is not the Leadfoot Racing League. This is the Ross Dalton Racing League, and you know.
Ryan, fair or foul? Did they get it right, you think?
I mean, my job is supposed to commentate on this, and
Thank you.
whatever race control comes up with, I'm going to stick with. So I'm going to say
Ryan,
not fair.
Ryan, you're learning well. Ryan, you're learning well. Thank you, buddy, because that's exactly what I was about to say. We are just commentators. We are entertainers. We're telling the story, hyping it up for whatever it is. Obviously, we don't make the call, but at the end of the day, I do feel bad for Jacob York the second as he got disqualified, and there are crickets now with the announcement that Blaze Brinkley is the winner. But hey, look, props to him. All right, hey, he won the race. He stayed out of trouble. He did what he needed to do. Blaze Brinkley, obviously Jordan Brinkley on time and scoring from Sanford, North Carolina, picking up the win. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here tonight. As we close the final chapter of Elevated TV, obviously the only way that it will be back on the airwaves again is if Cody Deemers has somebody else buy it, or he brings it back later down the trough. But I can tell you right now, the Leadfoot Racing League and the Ross Dalton Racing is getting ready to shift over to Leadfoot TV. Coverage will begin with that next Sunday night. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to virtual New Smyrna Speedway. And then, of course, remember, in 2 weeks' time, Season 4 of the Leadfoot Racing League, presented by Eastern Technical Designs. It will be at, of course, on a new platform, as I mentioned, Leadfoot TV, and all of that is what's going on. And we wish Cody Deemers the best in all of his future endeavors. He made the decision to, take an absence, step away, personal reasons. I'm not saying that this is goodbye on Elevated TV, but it is farewell for now. So I remind you that beginning next week and moving forward, RDR, Esports League, Leadfoot Racing League, and whatever else comes to the mind of Tracy Brown and company for the future. 4Wide Motorsports, I believe. All of that will be, of course, on Leadfoot Television. Ryan, your final take of tonight at Myrtle Beach, buddy. We get ready for New Smyrna. That's a fun half-mile racetrack in the Sunshine State of the beaches of Florida outside Daytona. That'll be a fun 125-lapper next week. Always fun working with you, sir.
Yeah, always fun being up here in the booth. We had a great race today. A lot of cautions, a lot of wrecks. But we've got 5 winners and 5 races. So let's see next week if that trend continues and we get our 6th winner of the season.
5 winners and 5 races, because the first 2-time winner of the year, Jacob York, again disqualified. You heard it from Ross Boo Boo Dalton, the man behind the Ross Dalton Racing Driver Development East Late Model Stock Car Tour. And we get ready for New Smyrna Speedway next.
Hold on. West
Sunday night. So get us ready. Well, what's up, Tracy?
I just want to give my final comments before we cut out.
Okay, go ahead.
So I want to apologize to Mason Waters. Nothing personal. I would like to apologize to Boo Boo Dalton and RC Slick. All I'm doing is just giving my opinion, and obviously I'm not in control of this race. Just want to throw it out there and say, hey, I'm just slinging my opinion. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Opinions are like booty holes. Everybody's
exactly.
got one, right?
Yes. And so I hope that Mason Waters doesn't take this personally. I don't hate him. I don't know the guy. You know what I mean? Now, RC Slick, I love the name. And who doesn't love a name like Boo Boo Dalton? So, hey, I'm your fans. I'm your biggest fans.
And you're the director, and you're pushing.
And I'm the yes.
You could end all this at one push of a button, right?
Exactly. So all I was doing is just adding a little commentary, and if I'm wrong, I do apologize to anybody. I'm not trying to hurt any feelings. I was just trying to be objective.
Everybody has the right to an opinion.
Exactly
And
right.
I will say this off the record. I stand on the Fifth Amendment, right? I plead the Fifth that my job's to call what's going on. I don't have the right to make an assumption, but I will say off the record, if I was a fan in the grandstands and saw that, I would have been like, well, I think somebody ticked off Jacob a little too much, and he had enough, and the bump and run ensued. Then there's another part of me that's like, last lap, fair game, all bets are off.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I
And
plead
then-
the Fifth because we're
Yeah.
broadcasters.
I was fixing to say, and then there's another part of you that would like say, throw it to Ryan Tomford there, and just
Yeah, Ryan saved me. Ryan saved me.
anyway.
Ryan would be like, damn you, this guy is a veteran. He's throwing me to the wolves. So no, I would never do that. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to part waves. As we mentioned, Elevated TV will be going off the air. It will not come back on unless Cody decides to reinvent the wheel and resurrect it, or somebody else takes over it. But it has been an amazing ride on being on the Elevated TV platform. And obviously, we look forward to the future of covering more iRacing events and more down the trough with Tracy and everybody that is behind Wayne Cannon, everybody behind Leadfoot TV. And obviously, it will always continue to be, when available, on the Community Radio Network. Next week, we're going to do Smyrna. And again, in 2 weeks' time, Leadfoot Racing League launches for season number 4 as well. For everybody at Elevated TV, for Tracy Brown on production tonight, and a little commentary as well, a little poking of the bear. For Ryan Tomford, I'm Wesley Outland. Be good to one another. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of your upcoming week. We'll see you next week for round 6 at New Smyrna. Take care.